Hey everyone, thanks for checking back in. In today's video, I'm making 2 reverse seared ribeyes cooked to a medium rare. If you're not familiar with the reverse sear method, it is credited to famous chef Kenji Lopez-Alt, who has recognized that it may have been simultaneously developed by multiple people right around the same time, but that he had indeed organically developed the idea for an early career food journal writing job, where he needed to find a foolproof way to cook thick steaks. I'm a huge fan of Kenji's work, and we'll get into more nerdy food facts later. Now here what we're going to see is my absolute stubbornness towards peeling potatoes. I bought an expensive stand mixer attachment because of a bad experience I had while peeling potatoes when I was young and lopping the tip of my finger off with a peeler while I'm getting my stand mixer set up to spin the spuds and watch the potatoes rotate. Rotators. How about some more reverse sear info? Until the reverse sear or even the sous vide then sear method, it was common cooking technique that the very first thing you do to a piece of animal protein was to sear it. From this you might see how groundbreaking these methods were when it came to the public eye. Of course, in the mid-2000s, sous vide equipment was rather expensive for home cooks, so the reverse sear becomes an even more precious technique. And before you run out and buy this attachment for your stand mixer, here's a tater blooper for you. Of course, every time I use this peeler, I resist the urge to fry the leftover peels up. I will fry the leftovers up someday. How would that not be great, right? After some fine trimming and dicing of the potatoes, more reverse sear facts. Perhaps what even is reverse searing? The reverse sear is a technique where you cook a steak at a low temperature in an oven or in a sous vide bath, followed by a sear in a very hot pan or on a grill. The low temperature of the oven gives you a much bigger window of time to reach the exact temperature you're looking for, as opposed to starting your steak in an extremely high heat situation. We are heavily salting our ribeyes, and because I basically powdered my pepper rather than ground it, guess who doesn't own a pepper mill? I'm sprinkling my powdered pepper over my steak like so. I've preheated my oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour for it to reach my desired internal temperature of about 115. The biggest bone I have to pick with steak is simple. A good, thick, well-marbled steak is expensive. If you're like myself and can't afford to practice making $30 steaks any more than once every couple months, this method will be great for you. Today I'm keeping the taters ultra simple with some salt, pepper, butter, and milk. I've since brushed up on some mashed potato techniques. I think the biggest takeaways from a recent mashed potato deep dive were that gently heating up your cream, milk, and/or butter will keep the taters hot and not shock them with a cold temperature like dairy straight from the fridge. That and boiling garlic cloves directly in with the potatoes as they cook and blending them in is pretty excellent. A mashed potato video is likely in the future. I love mashed potatoes, like a lot. Because we're using a low temperature, we're going to get particularly even cooking with minimal to no gray or overcooking where the seared meat meets the meat in the middle. This is my most valued tool in my low budget kitchen, as it takes a lot of guesswork and risk away from these expensive meals. Look how great this looks. It really looks pretty sad, doesn't it? One great benefit from the reverse sear is that this steak is nice and dried out on the outside, and it's going to give us the sear we're looking for. Cast iron, smoking hot, and it's time for our sear. I made 2 of these ribeyes for my roommate and I as a New Year's celebration dinner. I made theirs in a dry cast iron and mine with a decent splash of oil. Now my cast iron is well seasoned, but I made the rookie mistake of flipping theirs too early, as you can see by the pan stealing this lovely patch of crust on this one here. As with any sear, animal protein will release itself when it's ready, so be a little more patient than I was here. I cooked some broccolini alongside our steaks with some knobs of butter, plain and simple. Off camera, I took temp and we were at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 10 degrees lower than our target temperature. As the residual heat while tenting with foil and resting for 10 minutes will rise to a perfect medium rare. I have read that there is no need for resting when reverse searing, but haven't had the chance to compare. Today I'm doing a simple reduced butter pan sauce, deglazing with chicken stock, adding butter, and reducing until thick. If you found my channel, I would like you to know I am not a food elitist and believe in eating something however you'd like. So get out your steak sauce, pan sauces, chimichurris, and enjoy yourself. Maybe leave the ketchup in the fridge. while I prep our plates, the takeaway from today's video: 250 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour or until 115 degrees Fahrenheit internal with the intention of a medium rare. Searing for about 5 minutes on each side or until 130 degrees Fahrenheit internal. Tenting and letting our steaks rest until the residual heat registers 140 degrees Fahrenheit. I really do highly recommend getting a well-reviewed probe thermometer for this recipe to take out all of the guesswork. Remember when I mentioned that I don't have loads and loads of cash to eat and practice preparing 2-inch ribeyes every night for dinner? Would I if I could? I hope I never find out. I'm not sure if I have that level of self-control. Something I've learned from years of living on a musician's budget and dabbling in different hobbies is to take it easy on myself if something doesn't turn out very great on the first few attempts. Giant steak nights are pretty rare here, so the learning curve on something like this for myself and maybe yourself may be a long journey, and that's okay. And that is the reverse sear technique. Questions, concerns, blatantly incorrect information, please comment below, as I'm always willing to listen to new information. Please like, comment, subscribe to keep in touch. Thank you so much for watching.